Florida. What is this wonderful, fascinating, unique spit of land that happens to be right on the tip of the southeastern United States? Well, as we all know, it was mostly untamed until recently. And whereas civilization has crept in around the corners and slowly from the coastlines, it's resulted in this wonderful mix of rural and urban and suburban and all of it blended together. This mishmash of different cultures and different values and sets to give us Florida Man. And mostly, Florida Man, as we all know him, loves breaking the law and making the damn news. So we're going to do our best to provide y'all some of the most fascinating stories from my homeland for the past couple of years in this first installment of Florida Man Iceberg. This one's really going to be more lighthearted, not in any particular order of like most lighthearted to worse or anything like that. This is the fun stuff. Expect different ones of these in the future for everything from historical Florida Man stuff to even natural Florida Man stuff, aspects about the environment and development and on it and stuff. However, I really want to say thank you already for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let's get on with the show. So where do we begin on conquering such a giant, unscalable, legendary task as summarizing, providing Florida Man stories? I'd like to really start at the beginning, which all goes back to 2013 when Scott Simon, Florida Man, pocket dials 911 and accidentally reveals murder plot. Now, of course, that's not the actual first story involving a Florida man, but that is the first one that really gains internet notoriety and spreads across all the YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, and it starts what gets the trend going. But back to one of the original articles from the Huffington Post. Quote, police arrested a Florida man on first-degree murder charges Tuesday after he reportedly pocket-dialed 911 and revealed his murder plot on a recorded phone line. In the May 5th recording, which the Broward County Sheriff's Office says will not be released, Pompano Beach resident Scott Simon can be heard allegedly telling someone that he's going to follow another man home and kill him. And I'll pause for a second. I thought I had bad luck, but holy shit, dude. Dude, that's bad. That's your... Oh, I've made dumb pocket dials. I pocket dialed my mom and told her about a drinking binge that I had one time. I ain't never pocket dialed 911. Anyways, back to the Huffington Post article. Minutes later, Nicholas Walker, 33 of Lauderhill, was shot dead while driving south on I-95. His car then hit a guardrail and exploded into flames. The deadly shooting and fire shut down I-95 for 3 hours. By the way, I-95, it being shut down for 3 hours, happens every day, but I guess he was the cause of it that day. Digress. Detectives say they believe Simon did not pull the trigger on the fatal shot and that they are looking for another suspect who was seen with Simon in surveillance video earlier that night. They do, however, believe Simon coordinated the homicide after fighting with Walker. Where at? But at a nearby Waffle House. I mean, if you're starting your night at Waffle, if there's somebody that's going to pocket dial 911, I assume they just left the wonderful establishment of Waffle House. I say it with all respect. Wonderful place. So that's what begins
Hash browns and a side of murder.
And that's our producer, Merce, joining us slightly for the show. But yes, that was the first Florida Man story. And he would start a trend that would grow and change and shape the way the rest of the world saw this wonderful corner southeastern peninsula. Moving on to more recent times, to Florida Man's more recent engagements aside from his origin story. But it still fits the theme. Quote from WPTV, Channel 5 of West Palm Beach, from WPTV.com. Quote, naked Florida man stole and crashed police car. $10,000 worth of damage to vehicle. On January 22nd, 2021. Of course, what other county would grace such an event like this, except for the host of Jacksonville? Merce, help me remember what it is.
Duval!
It is the infamous Duval. So, from the Associated Press, which WPTV is quoting, quote, officials say a naked Florida man has been arrested after stealing what news footage showed to be a marked police vehicle and crashing it. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says 22-year-old Joshua Shanker. Side note, guys, I'm not going to lie, a lot of these happen to be Josh's. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Continuing from the article. Joshua Shanker was arrested after Thursday's crash and charged with theft of a motor vehicle, aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer, and other counts. Officers responded to reports of a naked man running along Interstate 10 in western Jacksonville shortly before noon Thursday. Okay. I mean, haven't we all been there? Not physically at that location, but I mean, we've all done dumb things. Maybe even some of us have done such wild things as take off our clothes and run like a madman. I'm not going to say who. Not pointing any fingers at Mercer in particular. However,
I got bad knees.
back to the article. Authorities said only in a redacted report. Why's it got to be redacted? Hang on, back up. Authorities said only in a redacted report that a vehicle belonging to the city of Jacksonville was stolen. All right, that's how they started out. According to the police report, about $10,000 worth of damage was done to the vehicle. And that's the end of the article. So, Joshua of Duval, I got to say, man, you have a legendary status. A drunken crown befits your head, and I hope you wear it well. Although, well, thank God they give you striped pajamas before you go in that damn place, because I don't want to go to Duval County buck naked. Nope, we're good. All right, next Florida man, go. Now, I know I said I was going to mostly keep this lighthearted, but I got to give y'all just a little taste of nightmare fuel. Mercer, when you go to sleep at night, do you like to sleep with the blanket totally covering you, or do you like sticking your little feeties out to get some cold air?
I use a weighted blanket.
That's right, you odd.
I get the night terrors and the screams and
Odd human being. I digress. Well, I do, but I don't anymore, because from Fox 13 back in January 3rd, 2020, quote, deputies search for burglar who broke into Bradenton home to suck victims' toes, unquote. So just know, if you stay in Florida, not only do you got to worry about your stuff getting stolen, you got to worry about your toes getting sucked, man.
That's gross in a place where everybody wears flip-flops.
Yeah. Some people walk barefoot. I digress. Moving, because there's details to that, but let's move on. You know what? We've done sucking on toes. Let's just roll with the weird stuff. Florida man found with drugs after getting trapped in a porta potty. And he's a fine-looking gentleman with a strange goatee. God, I'd hate to be trapped in a porta potty with him. Good luck, everybody. Another one. Man accused of arson at Tampa apartment community after caught masturbating in window several times. So that was like his payback. I can't do this where everyone can see, so I'll burn it down. Awesome. This is really covering the wide girth of Florida man. Speaking of that, Roberto Hercules, 45, was wearing nothing but a cowboy hat when he approached on a woman on a bike with a machete. October 17th, 2013. So we have a nice collection of different identities to play with and different veracities of humans to deal with in Florida. And if it makes for anything, it's interesting. And just to add one more to that nice variety of mix, Florida man stabbed with a sword. Fish. He stabbed with a swordfish. After he got hit with a beer bottle, he grabbed a swordfish and stabbed another dude. So, viva la Florida, essay. Now, stepping aside from the ultra weird and just some standard weird, and also some people that I'd like to say has garnered some of my respect. To quote WFLA, I used to watch them a lot, from WFLA.com, quote, Florida man poses as Disney security guard, steals R2-D2 statue. So, it's David Proudfoot, who's 44 years old.
It's like Gone in Mickey Seconds.
Absolutely. I love the heist idea of like he's an ultra Star Wars nerd. And like I'm getting me my R2D2 that cost $10,000, which is
that was the droid he was looking for.
Yes, it was. But there's something sketchy about that just costing $10,000 in the first place. Who built? Is it a real R2D2? Does it roll around and bleep bloop and figure out other complex computer puzzles?
I don't think there's an actual midget inside it.
That would be worth $10,000. Moving on.
You just put a price tag on a human, and that's not okay.
Midget. Anyways, all right. So to quote, Orlando, Florida, of course, a Florida man was charged with stealing Walt Disney World property after Orange County deputies say he claimed to be a security guard. David Proudfoot, 44, admitted to stealing or tampering with Disney Resort property on multiple occasions. This dude's a seasoned pro. He's done this a handful of times. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said Proudfoot was found impersonating a security guard at Disney Swan Reserve Resort on May 31st, after security spotted him wearing a high-visibility orange vest and pushing a cart down the street to the hotel. That's kind of brave. According to the arrest report, Proudfoot told deputies he worked at the nearby yacht club resort. He led investigators to a staff locker room where deputies said he walked around aimlessly searching for his locker for a while and failed to open the locker. Wait, hang on, did he? Proudfoot later admitted to moving an arcade machine, an R2-D2 statue. Oh, so he tried to get an arcade machine too. If anything else, this man did Disney a favor. He helped them sort out some of their security flaws that these high-tech Star Wars fans can break in and try to search for their locker. Florida Man isn't the brightest every time, but you gotta give him an A for effort. He gets my respect on that end. Now, moving on to different scenarios that the Florida Man can find himself in. It's a spectrum of possibilities that induce certain emotions that initiate certain reactions, and how Florida Man deals with it and the rest of reality copes with him dealing with it. A fine example comes to us from the Florida Keys on the January 1st, 2021. From U.S. Newsweek, quote, man shot in stomach after jumping out of the woods to scare friend, police say. A Florida man was shot and injured after he jumped out on his friend in an attempt to scare him during a fishing trip. 31-year-old victim from Miami, named by local media as Adam Anthony Navarro, hid in the woods while his friend went to their car early on Sunday morning during an outing to the Florida Keys. Oh, so his friend's like waking up and he's hiding in the bushes. Okay, gonna scare him. Great idea. I've done this. Navarro leapt out from behind the trees to scare his friend, who apparently startled, drew a 9mm handgun and shot the victim once in the stomach, according to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. That smells funny. If I jumped out at you and went booga booga booga, you're pulling out a pistol and shooting me? For that reason? I'm going to
say that was the reason.
Yes, that's what the media is going to pick up on. All right, continuing. The shooting, close to the Channel 5 bridge in the Florida Keys, happened around 5:30 a.m. and the victim was airlifted to a Miami hospital later on Sunday evening. Later on Sunday evening? It happened at 5:30 a.m. Anyways, charges may be filed against the shooter, who authorities did not name. So, even if you're a friend, be wary of scaring Florida Man, because we don't know what he's on. Now, to go a little bit further, we're going to wrap this up, but we got to at least hit up our three most notable Florida Man stories. This episode is pretty article heavy. The future episodes aren't going to be so article heavy, but I figured for a hardcore introduction, layout of the series, what a wonderful cornerstone to build upon for the rest of these. So, back to the fun times. August 17th, 2022. Armless man stabs tourist in Florida. Quote from penlive.com. A homeless man with no arms was arrested for stabbing a tourist in Florida. Resourceful Florida man. No arms, still stabbing. I'm really wondering where this goes. Back to the article. The man may actually be recognized by a number of people, as he once went viral for appearing in one of Barstool Sports founder David Portnoy's pizza reviews. I know who they're talking about.
He's got a wagon.
Yeah. Oh, he's stabby, huh? Local 12 News reports how Jonathan Dale Crenshaw was arrested Tuesday by authorities in South Beach, Florida, after he was accused of stabbing a tourist visiting the area from Chicago. Now, to the why of Florida Man. NBC Miami's continued to report how the tourist, 22-year-old Cesar Coronado, had approached Crenshaw to ask for directions. Crenshaw responded by first punching Coronado in the head, stabbing him with a pair of scissors using his feet, then leaving the scene, unquote. I was really surprised he didn't stab him with something with his teeth, but he used his feet. That is... How'd he punch him? With a nub? Did he nub him? He get that nub up in there?
The visuals are just astounding at this point.
If anyone has a secret video of this, send it to us. We'll pay you. Not much, but we'll pay you. Maybe in bandit bucks. Anyways, back to the article. I'm not from here, and this is not what I came for, tells Coronado to the news station. I came for vacation, unquote. Let this be a lesson to all tourists. If you come here for vacation, an armless man might stab you with his feet. Kind of on armless guy's side, a little bit. I'm rooting for him a hair bit. Anyways, back to Coronado's quote. Quote, it's like, how the hell did I get stabbed? Like, is it the right guy at that point? Because I can't believe with his legs someone could do that, unquote. Us too, Coronado. Us too. He must get, like, nothing but legs days for this guy. He's like an armless Batman preparing for this fight. That's what I'm picturing. Only homeless and stinky. Maybe not Batman. Maybe I take some of that back. But...
just like a whirlwind of round-offs?
Dude.
It's like you do the cartwheel with no hands?
He spins on his head and just butts the feet out. Always what I wanted to do with a sword as a kid.
Probably hell of that Russian dance.
Oh, dude, he'd knock it out. Anyways, continuing on. Media details how Crenshaw is a known figure in South Beach. The 46-year-old was once profiled by the Miami Times News in 2011 for being a street artist that creates works with his feet. And it's like, hang on. Let me continue this last bit. I promise. It gets even better. The same media article points out that the Crenshaw once gained internet fame by appearing in one of Dave Portnoy's popular reviews of blocks of Pizza Deli in Miami Beach. Quote, and don't forget to give it to a crack addict, unquote, tells Crenshaw to Portnoy, who is holding a box of pizza in the video. So I guess like the guy that got stabbed is like, no, that was Crenshaw to Portnoy claiming he's a crack addict. So if this guy's a local figure, I'm not saying it's totally the tourist's fault that he got stabbed. You should know not to screw with homeless people that have ventured down here to Florida. No, sir. Anyways, on to the next stunning example to this great state. Now, I'm saving the two best for last. What I know is my personal favorite, and what I believe to be the crowd favorite. So, my personal, from WBRZ2, on June 13th, 2018. Quote, Florida man arrested for tossing alligator into Wendy's drive-thru window. Unquote. Palm Beach County, a man arrested Monday for allegedly tossing a live alligator through the drive-thru window at a Wendy's restaurant in Loxahatchee, Florida. And for those of you that aren't aware, unquote from the article, Loxahatchee is like this beautiful meeting of real redneck southern Everglades, Florida, and like super suburban $1 million estates of like southeast Florida, like the outskirts of Miami Beach. So you get a blend of folks there. So what I understand the man did, by the way, side note, named Joshua, because of course he is. Back to it. Joshua Douglas James, 23 years old, of Jupiter, Florida, admitted to officials that he picked up the American alligator on the side of the road. He later threw it from his white pickup truck into the Wendy's kitchen after ordering a large soft drink. The alligator was seized by FWC officers and released into a nearby canal, ABC News reports. Why are you releasing it? It already has a taste of Wendy's. And will come back for every Wendy's restaurant, meal, and customer that there is.
Their patties are never frozen.
City people don't know nothing. But the incident happened on October 11th, 2015. Apologies for the date mix-up. James was only taken into custody on Monday, according to online booking records for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. The most surprising part of that is that he actually sat around and waited to go to jail and didn't just flee. Good. Salute to you, Joshua. Real man of Florida. Now, on to the crowd favorite. I know if you've never heard this story, it's something, man. Merce, do you remember what you were doing when you heard this story for the first time?
No, but I do remember it was like everybody was freaking out.
We were so excited. I was riding back from Bradenton, and I think I was riding with my brother, and we heard it on 102.5 The Bone.
I remember this was like the highlight of Nazi zombies.
This is the Call of Duty Nazi zombies era. Movies, all media is nothing but zombies. And we see in the news, quote, Miami police shoot and kill man eating another man's face. We heard that, and there was about a 4 to 5 day pause throughout all of Florida of, is it going down? Is it going down and they're not telling us it's going down? Do we need to buy a lot of guns? So many guns. By the way, Florida has a lot of guns. Buy more guns, buy more ammo, get ready for the zombie apocalypse. And then it turned out, no, bath salts. But then it turned out, kinda, but not really bath salts. So, anyways, my gift to all you wonderful people, the news from www.cbsnews.com from May 29th, 2012, Miami. Quote, Miami police are still tight-lipped about the man they shot and killed on the MacArthur Causeway Saturday afternoon, but new details back claims they had no choice. The naked man they shot was trying to chew the face off of another naked man and refused to obey police orders to stop his grisly meal, which one source now claims included his victim's nose and eyeballs. So, by the way, I don't know if y'all heard that part in there about the police being tight-lipped about the details. That was the news. It was like, oh, a guy bit another guy's eye and nose off and part of his face, and police aren't saying anything else about it besides it took a lot of bullets to kill him. And we're all like, it's going down. This is definitely it. And we all, pitchforks and shotguns got ready by the masses. And we were excited in the country. I can't give you the city perspective, but it was exciting times. Back to the video, or the article, apologies. Quote, surveillance video taken from security cameras at the nearby Miami Herald building show a police officer arrive on the scene, appear to be startled by the spectacle of two naked men lying on the street, and draw his service weapon. You want to talk about a bad day on the job. It appears that the officer shot one of the men, but it was difficult to tell in the video. And that's the end of the article. Not behind a paywall. We're not making enough money at this yet. Like and subscribe, people. Anyways, yes, that was the face-eating man zombie that we were all worried about. And everybody, we really had to narrow down the articles just to give a brief overview of Florida Man. And I know, a little bit text-heavy on this part of the series. But when things come, we're going to do a little bit more of our own takes and they're going to be slightly different videos. But everybody, thank y'all for listening this far. We hope y'all have enjoyed these intriguing tales of Florida Man. Continue to listen to us, like and subscribe, and wait for the next episode to come out. And who knows, maybe it's historical Florida Man, maybe it's natural Florida Man. Wait for the next one. We'll see you next time.